Hi, welcome to my little paintbrush. I am Miss Sarah, and today we get to paint one of my favorites of all time. This is going to be Toothless and Hiccup. Their relationship just kills me. I just can't get enough of it. So hopefully you enjoy this as much as I do and have a lot of fun creating this. Remember that you get to make it your own. So you can change the colors, you can add things, do whatever you would like to do to make it special to you. I'm going to show you how to do certain things and learn how to do different techniques that you may not already know. But this is all about you just learning with me and enjoying the process. So remember, you can speed up the video, you can slow it down, you can pause it, go back. You don't have to go at my pace. Do what works for you. All right? Okay, let's get started. I have a couple of paintbrushes I'll be using today. I have a flat brush, a number 6 round, and a detail brush. These are what work great for me for this painting. You use what works for you. I also have 2 jars of water handy, a napkin, and all of my paint on my paint palette like this. I have separated my white, as you can see, into 3 piles because I don't want to contaminate all of my white at once. We're going to be doing a lot of mixing, and I just want to make sure that I have enough when I need it. So I highly suggest you separate your white. Okay, let's start first with our background just to get warmed up. I'm going to use my flat brush, and I want to put it in water. Just kind of shake it off. We want our bristles to be damp. All right, because acrylic paint gets really thirsty. My background is blue. You can change that if you would like, but I will start with a little bit of white in my blue and decide how light I want it. But the more white you add, obviously the lighter it will be, right? So you can kind of gauge how dark or light you want that blue. Just gonna stir in some white, a little bit at a time until I decide that I like it. And I kind of like that shade. I'm going to stick with it. So let's start at the top. I'm just going to brush back and forth, filling in the space here. You can also reach up top and paint the sides of your canvas. We call that wrapping our canvas, and really like to do that with our artists. It just helps finish the piece, makes it look really nice all the way around. You won't need to frame it or anything after. It's just ready for the wall or the shelf. Okay. Now I'm going to try really hard not to paint inside my image, but it's a challenge. So we're just going to do our best. I'm going to use a little bit of white here on the corner of my brush and face that white towards my image. And I'm going to float it along the edge and let that fade into my blue. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I want to draw attention to my image here. This white's going to do that. It's also adding some texture to my painting. And I love the shades of blue it gives me. I'm going to go around my dragon here, up and down. Okay. And it's okay if you paint inside the image a little bit. I just mostly want you to be able to see it later on and not lose it completely. Now I like to leave brush strokes in my background. I think it just looks really cool. So I'm not going to completely brush out the white. I'm going to let it be. That's a personal choice. So if you feel like, oh, I want less white, that's no problem. Just do less white. Put more blue on there. Or maybe you want it to just be a solid blue. That's okay too. You just got to do what you like. Okay, I'm just blending this in until I like it. Just letting the blue fade together. There we go. All right. Now I think I want a little more white along this edge. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. There we go. Just a little bit, not too much. I like the movement and the texture. I just really do. I'm kind of a texture girl when I paint. There we go. I like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this bottom corner. We're doing the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of white on the corner of my brush and face it up along that edge so that the blue fades. Again, I want a little more white on there, so I'm facing that white up and fading out, just like that. And then we have the center here, right in between. You have to kind of slow down here because it's a small space. So if you need to switch up your brush, you can do that, or use the toe of your brush, square brush, to get into those tiny little spots. But it's definitely smaller here. Okay. I do like the center to be a little bit lighter all around, so my blue isn't as dark in the center. There we go. And this is just layer number 1. We're just warming up. So just remember not to spend too much time worrying about this. The center is not the star of the show, right? Okay. There we go. I just noticed that my nose is not on there. I just missed it when I traced my pattern for some reason. So I'm going to shape out a nose for myself here. Let's see here. I'm going to come right here and come around. I believe it's like that, or at least it's close to something like that. There we go. It all works out. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's let this dry for just a minute. Make sure you have everything the way you want on your background. Paint your sides. I'm just checking my layers here. I like to go back and just brush it out and make sure I have enough, because sometimes you need to add one more layer. Okay. Add a little bit of texture and movement here to my painting. There we go. I like it. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of blending time. Now let's go to the middle and brighten this up. Make sure that's on there right. Perfect. Do our one last shade. There we go. I like to do more light facing the dragon. Very good. That's awesome. Let's let that dry. And then rinse our brush. And let's do Toothless eye. next. So I'm going to rinse out this flat brush. Use the same brush again. If you want to switch it and use a smaller one, that's fine. Toothless's eye is green, right? So we're going to mix this green ourselves. I have yellow and dark green. Mix the two together, just a little bit at a time. Save some for later. I'm going to pick up some white over here and add it. I really like this bright green for his eyes. It's iconic, right? And it just like pops off the canvas. I'm going to do that first. Fill in the shape here. We're doing this first, so if you accidentally paint outside the lines, you can fix that when you paint the dragon. Right now you're just filling this in. Not thinking too much about that. Okay, now while it's still wet, put a little bit of white on the corner of your brush. Brush down, and you can come back and change this later, but I want the light to be focused towards the pupil here. Just kind of blend that in. You can also take some of their dark green here and focus it on that outside edge and just float the edge as well. This is an extra thing if you just want to. It's just kind of fun to add little touches that give it some more detail. Not necessary, but looks awesome. Okay. There we go. Let's just brush it out. Make sure all the paint is taken care of. Looks so good. Do a little more white here along that inside edge. Make sure it's nice and bright, focusing on that pupil, right? Let's rinse our brush. Looking so good. Okay, let that dry for a minute. Okay, let's go and do Hiccup's face. We're gonna need to mix that color. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of white here and a touch of brown at a time, mix it with our white. To get that skin tone, you can add a touch of red to make it a little more pink. That's too pink. Ooh. So I'm gonna add some more white. Don't want too pink in there. Okay, a little more brown probably. Okay, so you can create the skin tone to be whatever you want it to be. I just need to get some blue out of my brush. That's why I have 2 jars. I like to make sure I can double check. All right, here's my skin tone. Now let's go ahead and fill in this face. All through here. Okay, we have our neck all the way down to the chin, mouth, nose. There we go, up between the hair. Brush it out, make sure it's nice and smooth and you don't have any drips showing up. I want this to dry really nice for you. Let's see. Yep. Okay, and then we have our neck right here coming up. Just on the other side. And this is actually the ear. So don't forget that little spot there. And right here. Doesn't have to be perfect, just want to make sure it's covered for when we do the hair. Right? Okay. Nice coverage on here. Looks so good. Now let's go over and do our hand. So we have our thumb right here. Let's go ahead and fill that in with our skin tone, and the hand coming up and wrapping around our canvas. So you can go ahead and do around the edge of the canvas if you like, and wrap where that hand goes around. Now one thing you can do is take a little bit of brown now on the corner of your brush like that, okay? And this is only if you want to, it's just a little extra detail. You can float just a touch of brown. I only do a little bit because it really doesn't need it. It's just kind of an extra shading if you would like to add it. So I try to keep it very light. Just where I feel like there might be a little bit of a shadow happening under the hair and the nose, you know. But it's totally optional because you will be outlining. So just if you want to add a little extra. I do it to the hand as well, just around the thumb here, just where it might cast a shadow. Okay, so that's just a little extra thing if you want to do that. All right, okay, that is done. So let's rinse our brush. Okay, we're going to do our first layer of brown now. And brown actually needs several layers. So I always start with some brown and white. And I'm just using that skin tone and mixing more brown with it now, because you want to start with a pretty light brown and then darken it with your next layer. So let's start first with our hair. Now here's the trick with doing hair. You want to imagine that your paintbrush is a hairbrush. I know that sounds a little funny, but I promise if you can do that, it will really make this whole thing look so much better. And I'll show you. Okay, now I'm going to brush in the direction that I think the hair will be flowing. Now here we go. We're brushing down. I'm going up and down, but that's because I feel the hair is laying and flowing in that direction. Right off the canvas, okay? Let's wrap it around here, right in the front. Comes to a point right there. And again, I'm just brushing as if I have a hairbrush. I'm just brushing this hair. We'll add all those little details later. Use the toe of your brush to do any little points, or switch brushes to get those points better. We're going to brush it right off the canvas. Okay, around the ear. Perfect. Now this comes down here. We're just going to add that little one there. Okay, and we have one more. Come straight down here. Okay, so once you have that on there, go back over it again. Brush as if you're brushing that hair out. And you're going to start seeing different shades of hair show up, which is what you want. And you can wrap your canvas. Now let that dry a minute. We'll add another layer in a second. Right now, let's go ahead and do the brown here on the armor. We'll start here at the top of the hand and work our way down. So we're going to paint the armor here first. You can wrap your canvas right here. Just fill that in. Make sure you're starting with that lighter brown, right? I'll start with the lighter brown. Okay, let's go ahead and paint this bottom shape. And it comes right off the canvas here, so you can now come and paint around the bottom of the canvas brown, if you want to follow it around. I'm just painting in between the shapes, back and forth, get all the brush strokes out so it'll dry for you, because you need to do another layer. There we go. Brushing it out. There we go. Let that dry for a minute. And then let's go do this shape here. It's brown as well. Just comes down. It's this rectangle. I'm going to finish it off. Kind of comes off as an angle right there. Okay. Let that dry. Now we have, it's the brown right here under the armor, just peeking out here. Okay, and it ends right where that brown is from the armor. Just come around there. Just let that dry. Awesome. I think we got all the brown. There's our layer number one. Now let's go back to the hair. We're going to put another layer of brown on here. You can see how that helps, right? Another layer. Just brush it out. Now we know that Hiccup kind of has some wild hair, right? So, you know, we don't have to stress it too much. His hair is fun. Just make sure we get that shading right on it. It has a very dark shade of brown. Fill that in. Okay, and I'm brushing again with my hairbrush here. It's kind of wind blown. Awesome. Okay. Don't think I want that high, but maybe. Maybe. A little bit lower. There we go. Okay. Now let's go back and do one more layer of brown down here. Should be dry for you to where you can. Not give it a minute. Just put that layer on there so it can dry for us. There we go. One more here. Don't want to lose our outline. Make sure we keep it. All right. Okay. Now before our hair dries too much, I'm going to show you how to blend some lowlights into our hair. Okay. So I have my brush here full of brown. And what I want to do is take a little bit of black first on the corner of my brush. Now start small. You can always add more later. But I'm going to put a little bit of black here on my brush. And I'm going to first follow the top of my hair. See that? So have that brown on the corner, lay it flat. And the fun thing with hair is it's really hard to mess it up. Because I mean, you've got different light happening, you know? And so just have fun with this. See what happens. Everyone's is going to look a little bit different because we all move our brush and our wrists different. They're not going to be the same. Okay. Now the trick with hair though is you don't want to over brush it. Okay. Very important that you let it go and don't over brush. So here we go. I'm going to just start. I have black on my brush and brown. Okay, so I'm using brown and a little bit of black. Now, again, I'm acting as if I am brushing my hair. And I don't want to over brush because I will lose all of my brown, right? So you don't want to over brush it. You want to make sure that you keep moving from the top, brush down as if the hair is being blown away from you. There we go. All right. Right off the canvas. Now, if you're thinking, oh, I've lost everything, don't worry. You're going to just leave this now and don't touch it. You want to make sure all these brush strokes stay, all right, and you don't lose them because we'll come back and add some more highlights. So just let it be for a minute and don't touch it. As tempting as it is, you just want to brush this darker shade in there and then let it be. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here to my armor and I'm brushing some black into my armor. Okay, so I have black on the corner of my brush and I have the brown, just like with the hair. Face that black up. Okay, we're going to make this armor look a little more worn. So we're floating that darker shade in there, back and forth. You don't want to completely cover your brown. We're just darkening the shade a little bit. Okay, so let's follow along this edge with the black as well. Back and forth. Basically, you're just kind of making it look dirty and old. Doesn't need to be perfect. You're just aging it a little bit. That's it. You can always come back later and add more brown if you feel like you've lost it. Okay, now I'm going to add some shading under the armor here. There we go, and a little bit over here too, in this brown. Again, you want to keep it brown, you don't want it turning black. But the aging is good to add that shading to it. Looks awesome. See if that hair is almost dry. And it is. So what you can do now, if it's almost dry, just take some brown, brush it in there, just to make sure you keep that brown in there. Just doing strokes of it. There we go. And that's it. You're just keeping it very simple. And usually your first go at it is the best, and you want to just let it be. Okay. I'm going to add a little more dark. This hair is actually pretty dark, so I add quite a bit of darker strokes to his hair. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Let that dry. Let's rinse our brush again. Remember, this is all in steps, so don't stress it. You just have to enjoy this process. It will all come together. Okay, so now that I've finished that, we're gonna go ahead and mix Toothless's color. He is a grayish black. We don't wanna do straight black because we're gonna put those spots on him. So what I'm gonna do here is mix some white and black together till I get a nice darker shade. Save some black for later. Okay, let's see if we like this one. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay, so let's start here at the top with Toothless. Just fill him in. Now you see all these spots? I would suggest you try not to paint in them. They're very helpful with placement. If you accidentally paint in them, it's okay. You can just create those spots. And I know you can. It'll be okay. You can kind of gauge it by the image. But they are helpful. So I will show you how I paint around them. Okay. So I'm just going around all these different curves here. And their heads come together. Awesome. So we can get close, and I'm painting in the direction that his head goes. Now, as I come down here, I'm not doing a straight line. I'm kind of just letting my brush do these little lumps all the way down. Because if you look at his head, that's what it does. It kind of has those scales. So I create those scales as I come down with my brush. You don't have to. You can do just a straight line down if you like. I have fun with it. Okay, now let's go around the eye. Just want to go nice and slow and try not to paint inside the shape. All the way around here. This black covers everything. So I try to start out pretty easy. Oh, got a good drip. There we go. Coming down. Perfect. And the top just curves around here. See if I can get it. I think I did. There we go. And then we'll brush it out. Awesome. We'll put some lowlights and highlights around that eye in a minute. Now here's his smile. I'm just lightening up the gray just a little bit. I feel like it's drying a little too dark for me. So I'm just putting a little more white in there. That's optional for you. It's just whatever you like. Just kind of have to go with what your eye is enjoying here with the painting. Getting close to the shapes, but not painting in them. All right, let's do, and I'm trying not to completely cover the mouth line so you can kind of see it. Come around here, all the way across without covering it completely so you can find it. There's the bottom of the mouth. We're going to follow his armor right up the arm here. Brushing it out here. I've got clumps showing up. Now to get around these fingers, I may switch brushes. I'm always very careful because I don't want to take off the thumb. So go nice and easy there. There we go. Right around the thumb. I'll just use a smaller brush to get those areas, just so I don't accidentally take off too much and lose it. Okay, there we go. There he is. I'm going to come up and do these shapes and make sure we get as close as we can to them without losing them. I'm using the toe of my brush right now to paint in between, but you can switch brushes and use a smaller one if that's easier for you. Just have to do whatever you feel. Just remember, you'll come back and just paint these spots black. So don't stress too much. If you accidentally paint inside the shape a little bit, that black, you can just fill it in later. Trust the process, right? That's what we got to do. It's about halfway through, we're thinking, oh, this isn't working. But I promise it is. It is, and you'll love it. Just have to be patient. There we go. Little spots over here. Don't want to lose them. Got some tiny ones. There we go. Make sure it's nice and covered. I think it is. Beautiful. Okay, now let's take our brush and put a little bit of just black right on the corner of this brush. Okay, and we're going to float around the front of the eye here with the black, like that. Just let it fade out a little bit. I think I did too much fading. I need a little more black on there. There it is. Okay, brush it out, make sure it's nice and smooth. But you definitely want to show that shadow around the eye. Love it. Okay, then we're going to do our floating just along the top front here. A little bit of shading there. And the mouth is going to come along here. Oop. I'm going to add a little bit of a smile at the end. He's happy to see Hiccup. We want to give the idea that he's smiling, right? There we go. Beautiful. Love it so much already. Okay, a little more dark here around the eye. Really make that stand out. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to switch brushes really quick, get a smaller brush, get my detail brush here so I can paint around the finger, the thumb there, and to the hand, right between. There we go. Awesome. Okay, now let's just use black for a minute here. We're going to do our spots. I'm just going to use the black I have here. And I'm also going to do the top of each one of these black. Do our next one. There we go. Just fill it in. Looks so good. Nice work. Let's curve this one just a little more. There we go. Now once I do that, I just want it to fade a little bit into the dragon so there's not a harsh line. So I just brush, let it fade out, just like that. Now let's do our spots. And we're doing those just black too. So I'm putting more black on my brush. Okay. And we're just going to paint these shapes. And they don't have to be perfect here. Okay. These shapes are meant to be uneven and perfectly imperfect. That is the point. They're a little bit curved, not a perfect square. We take the imperfection out of it. Or take the perfection out of it. Oh, Miss Sarah can't talk anymore. My brain is dying on me. Okay. There we go. These are different every time I do them though, because, you know, think square with lots of little wiggles in them. So just kind of wiggle your brush as you go in a square. See where it takes you. It's kind of fun because your brush will tell you what's going to happen here. Sometimes it's not much of a square or a circle. This looks like a triangle, but we're going to kind of wiggle it out, fill it in, change that triangle into something else, right? There we go. Got this one. This is supposed to look like a square kind of, but we're wiggling around here with our brush. And then we have one more going off. It's little. Now, if you want to, you can just add a couple small ones here. Going off the canvas. And a little one here. Then we're going to add these little ones over here. Remember, no perfect shapes. We're just kind of circling around, pressing with our brush. Just to see how it goes. Perfect, guys. I love it. Looks like dragon scale to me. All right, let's finish up this eye right here. So we're just gonna outline it first, come straight up. Come across the bottom and up the side. And fill it in with that black. Gives us Toothless's amazing eye here. I love it. Now you can just outline the side. I don't want to go in the eye. Don't want to lose that shape, okay? It's really important we try to stay. There we go. Now let's go ahead and outline his smile. There we go, so you can see it. And the bottom. Love this. All right. He's looking awesome, guys. So awesome. Now let's go and finish up our armor. We're going to use the similar gray, but a little bit lighter. So we have Toothless's color already mixed right here. I'm going to add some more white to it and lighten it up even more, because we want it just a little bit lighter. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and paint the rest of this armor. We do want it to stand out next to Toothless and not be the same shade. So it is going to be a little bit lighter. I'm going to try and get a line across the top here. There we go. Back and forth, brush it in. Come down this edge. Awesome. Right down. Now let's wrap around the wrist. My brush took off on me there. Whoop. There we go. Got a brush lighter. Okay, and we'll do these little buckles. I curved the top a little bit. So if you want to do that with me, you can. I'll show you why in a minute. You can leave it square or just kind of curve it slightly on top. Okay. Now this triangle here is also a light gray, so let's paint that in. It goes right off the canvas, so you can paint the bottom of the canvas right there. Now we're going to paint the armor around this really cool dragon warrior or Viking symbol. And start around the bottom. Try not to pick up your brush if you can. It's kind of tricky to do. I'm going to fill it in first. And then we'll work around the image up there. It's an upside down triangle shape. Now I'm using the toe on my brush to do the side edge of the armor. Just like that. Now we've got to do the inside. Try not to lose this image, it's very important. It's kind of challenging to put it back on if you do. I'll just warn you. So slow down to put it back, put it on there. Okay. Whew. There we go. Getting really close to the image without covering it. Now let's do this top little spot. Oh, almost dripped on that. See this little eyeball here. Just circling around. And this half one over here. There we go. Well done. Just going back over it. Make sure you guys have all your drips off. Okay. Brush it all out. Make sure it's nice and covered. Eyeballs are filled in. And this top area is done. Yep, looks so good. Brush it out. Everything is nice and covered. Okay, let's let that dry a minute. We're gonna go do our top here, armor with black. Okay, we're gonna start, let's see, make sure everything's dry. Start up here at the collar. It's gonna come down right over the top of the chin. Okay, and follow the edge of that armor. It's just black right now. Brush it out. You have to go nice and slow. Take your time on this. There's no rush on this part, because you really want to try not to paint inside the gray armor, because black just takes over everything. You have to go, just take your time on it. And then one more little spot here. It comes down. Oh my goodness, right here, huh? Make sure we get that right across. And I'm just using the tool of my brush to fill it in. And there you have it. Okay, so good. Brush it out. Make sure we have good coverage on everything. I love it. It's looking awesome. right, let it dry for a second. Now while it's drying, let's take our number 6 round brush and paint the red in our image here. This is our red, and I'm going to mix some yellow with it actually, because it's kind of an orangish red. Ooh. Oh no. Guys, this is why I wear a paint shirt, because I am the messiest painter. Oh man, just covered my shirt with paint. It's fine, totally fine. This is why we have paint shirts. Sorry, paint shirts on. Okay, let's finish our image. Oh man, darn it. There goes another paint shirt of mine. I've gone through quite a few, let me tell you. It's fine. All right. Gonna fill this in. We're just carefully gonna paint our first layer of red. Let's go around the eyes. Remember, circles are tricky. Be nice to yourself as you do it. This is just your first layer. Oh. There we go. Go around this one. You gotta curve out the bottom here. Come back up. Awesome. Same on the other one. There we go. Brush out those drips. Now let's do the bottom here. Curve it out. Okay, now you can use a smaller brush if it's easier. I love using the smaller one too. Just whichever one you like best on that. I'm just making a mess with this red. Just making a mess. All right, but we did it. So we're gonna let that dry. Rinse out that brush. I'm just gonna see if I can wipe off some red that's all over me. Oh my goodness. I have been completely covered in that red. It just splattered me. Well, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, I just love making a mess when I'm painting. I get teased all the time for it. I'm a very messy artist. Yep. All the things just seem to happen when I'm painting. Okay, here we are. Let's finish this up. Finish up our armor. Make sure we have all the layers in there. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of black on the corner of my brush like this. And we're going to just follow the edge of this armor. We're doing this to cast a little bit of a shadow to show the separation. Go. It starts to give our painting just a little bit of dimension there. So I'm going to follow it around. You can also do this with a detail brush if you prefer. You can totally do that too. It's all preference. Okay. Now let's see. Do a little bit under here. not too much. We don't want to take away the color of our armor. Just want to add a little bit of shadow. So that's why some artists prefer to just use a line brush and outline it. So you can do that for sure. It's for those that want a little bit of a challenge here. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's just casting a shadow on the armor, and the armor is used, well worn. So it's not expected to be perfectly clean and shiny and new. Okay. There we go. All the way around. There we go. Now with the eye here, it's going to put a little bit dark in there. Not too much. I grabbed too much dark, but a little bit on that one. There we go. Okay, let's go over here. Just brush in a little bit of the dark here along that edge. There we go. Perfect. Clean that up just a little bit. And then this part as well. Casting a shadow. There we go, you guys. Well done. Now you can just brush that in there. Let it be for a minute. All right. Let's see. I'm going to rinse. Flat brush again. Sure it's clean here. We're just going to do some of our finish up work. Can you guys believe you guys are almost there? So awesome. All right, here I'm just going to do one more layer on this image. Okay. And we're also going to just scuff it up a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do that if you want to, or you can keep it very clean. There's a couple little things you can do that just make this painting look awesome. Like there's just some wear and tear on this armor. You know, Toothless has been busy and so has Hiccup. So their armor is a little bit used, right? Okay, so to do that, I have red on my brush. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of white on it like this, just a little tiny bit on the corner. I'm going to wipe it off. I don't want too much. Okay, just enough to add a little bit of light to it. Start with a little bit. You can always go back, take some off. But I'm just going to brush in a little bit of light here. Like that. So just put a little bit of white on the corner. You can even wipe it off, like I said, so that you don't have too much going on. See, if you end up with that, that's probably too much. We don't want that, right? I want to keep it light. So it just looks like there's some marks on it. Okay. Awesome. Just brushing in a little bit of light. Let's do it here as well. Again, might be a little too light, so I'm going to take some of that off. Perfect there. Oh, didn't grab white, I grabbed gray. There we go. Just kind of brushing it on there. Love it. You can kind of see it right there, huh? Okay, let that dry for a minute. I'm rinsing my brush. Okay, let's add some light now to Toothless. I'm just going to take, well, let's see, yep. I'm going to take a little bit of white on the corner of my brush like that. Okay, and I'm going to follow that edge of the eye. Again, you can use a line brush if you want to. But that is the highlight for that eye. It just really helps bring it to life. We're going to do this edge as well. Just lightly. Remember, if you do too much, all you have to do is get a little bit of gray and paint right back over that. Okay. I'll just take a little bit of gray and you'll paint right around it like that. And you can take it off. Okay. So now I've shown you both. So I'm going to now put my white back on there. But yeah, if you feel like, oh, lost just too much, just take that gray and put it back over. I'm gonna let it dry a sec and come back and put a little more. Okay, let's see. Let's do our highlighting all over. First, we've got to just do our outlining. Let's let everything dry. Let's grab our detail brush and a little bit of water and black. We're going to do our outlining and then our highlighting, and you guys have done it. Okay, let's start at the top. We're just going to outline this hair. And one thing I like to do is as I go over, if there's anywhere I feel like it just comes down. So I'm going to come up and down, up, down, up, down. Okay, with the hair. Up and down. And that helps bring the little part to the hair. Just come down. Separates our hair a little bit. Okay, now let's just clean up this little line here of hair. And this one, just bring it to a nice point. Oh, I smeared it. It's okay, we got it. Okay. We're just going to clean up this edge as well. Just shape it however you're feeling. One there, we have one here. And then one last one. And we're going to shape out the neck. And the ear comes around here. And our cheek here. All right, then we have our nose. And of course, we have the smile. And come up to a stop there, and then it curves around just like that for the nose. Love it. Oh, I got a little spot on there, huh? We'll get that in a minute. Then we have our eye right up here. Okay. We're gonna get that spot. Looks like we have a freckle or something. All right, now let's finish up the shirt and the armor, clean that up. And come across the top. Curve it slightly as you go around on the wrist. And go around the brown. This is all optional. If you'd rather not do all this, you don't have to. Okay, come down here, right off the canvas. Up and down. Now with these, we're going to curve it and bring your line out a little bit, giving it a crease. Okay. Makes it look like it's going right under that leather. Okay, bring that down. Awesome. Looking so good, guys. All right, let's finish up this top part of the leather. Just outline it, clean it up. Curve it around. Gonna come around this side. Right up next to that red. There we go. Now, of course, you can outline these too if you want to. It's not necessary, but it adds a little bit of detail if you want to add that. Cleans up anything that might be bugging you a little bit. Just gonna outline the eyes so it looks like just partially, so it looks like there's a shadow there. It just kind of finishes it up a little bit. Okay, let's see. I have to fix the face, right? Get rid of that freckle on his face. Make sure I have the right brown. I think I'm about there. Oh, probably need a little more white, huh? A little bit. There we go. That's pretty good. I'm gonna fix the nose too. I messed up the nose right here. Gotta curve it out. If you guys have our paint kit, we'll have it all outlined for you, which is so nice to have that. There we go. That's better. Get rid of the freckle. Don't want that freckle in there. Okay. I think we got there. Got to put the nose on there, right? Now that we have it right. But here you go, guys. This shows you. You can always go back and touch things up. Always. The beauty of acrylics. I love them for that reason. Things aren't ever final. Just go back and see it later. Oh, this eye. Okay. Let's get it this time. Here we go. Let's get some black on here. Gonna add a little bit of a smile to this mouth now. And now we can fix the nose a little bit. Perfect. And now we're gonna finish the nose. Do like a little bit of a half circle there on the side and a small half circle on the bottom. That finishes out the nose. If I can get the eye. It's bitter. They are some of my favorite. This is one of my favorite duos right here. All right, let's see here. You guys ready to do our highlighting? I think we are there. I think we're ready to do it. So let's take our flat brush, make sure it's nice and clean. We're gonna put some white on the edge, just like that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the eye again. Just enough. Love it. Okay. And then I'm gonna put some on the nose. Draw attention here. Just brush in a little bit of white there. Try to keep it just on the nose and not go too much in the mouth area. Okay, now let's do the hair. So take a little bit here, and all we want to do with the hair is add a highlight. A couple of them, not too much, just enough to show that it's blowing slightly. Just like that. See that? Do some back here. Go nice and light. You can always add more another time. But that's it. I want to keep it super simple. And then I do like to add a little bit of a highlight on the face and the nose. Just like that. Okay, now let's do the top of the collar, like this. See how I'm just following it around? Okay. To that edge. Just to that point. Boop. Right there. And stop. Now we're going to do something called dry brushing. It's where I want my brush to be dry. And we're going to scuff up our armor. So see, I'm going to put some right on the very tip of my brush, and then I'm even going to wipe that off. I want it very little to start with, and I'm just going to lightly brush onto my armor here. Very lightly. Just scuffing it up. Okay, we're going to do the same over here. I'm running out, so I'm going to do it again. Wipe it off. Start out small. Focus the light in the middle and work your way out. Just like that. Put a little bit on here, scuff it up a little bit. And we'll add just a little bit to each of these, just brushing away from the bottom. Okay. Let's see. Yep. There we go. Now, if you feel like you have too much, you can always go back with some gray and cover up some of it, but you're good just to leave it. Got a little bit on the black. Don't want to take over. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the black. So I'm going to put some black on there, wipe it off. It's not too much. And we're going to press on the corners and pull and just gently put a little bit of scuffed black on the armor. You want this brush to be mostly dry. We're not doing a bunch of wet paint here. Just enough, just make it look worn. And you don't want to have a pattern. You kind of want to try and keep that from happening. So instead of having everything the exact same length, do some short, some long. We're going to do it on these edges too. Pulling up and away, brushing it lightly. Okay. And we'll do it just lightly on the corners. And see, I haven't even gotten more black. I'm still using what I have on my brush from the very start. Keep it super toned down. I'm doing the outside edges of the armor and curving it slightly. That's going to draw attention to the center of our work. Okay. Do a little bit on the brown if you'd like to add some shading. I love it. It's looking so awesome. I hope you guys are liking it. Just have a good time with this, because it is perfectly imperfect, as it should be, right? Okay, let's go. Up here, I'm just going to fix my eye. It's bothering me. Curve it out a little bit. There, I feel a little better about that. You just have to, you know, sometimes you just gotta go back, touch things up, make sure you really like how it is before signing your name. All right, you guys. Man, I hope you had fun painting this with me. I'm so excited for the movie to come out. It's going to be awesome. It's one of my favorites of all time. So I hope you had a good time. Give us a thumbs up if you did. Be sure to hashtag and let us know We would love to see your work. So if you tag us at My Little Paintbrush, we can see it too. You can visit us on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So be sure to hit us up so we can see on all the platforms. Okay, I think it's it. Let's sign our name. I'm going to find a small brush here and put some black on it. I'm going to sign my name. I hope you do too. You should be very proud of yourself. You did incredible. This is a very big painting. But this is one you can put up and wow. Just wow, look what you did. And be reminded of their awesome relationship. These two are a pair. All right, you guys, come paint with us again. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.